greatest of all teachers and giver of love, hope, faith, and wisdom, look upon your children, the teachers, learners, parents, guardians, and out-of-school youth and adults. We humbly ask for your mercy and forgiveness. Guide us to the right path. May our efforts be blessed with insights and understanding, wisdom and respect for all. Bless us with patience, for the path of learning is never easy. Bless our commitment to keep on learning new knowledge and experiences. Let your light shine upon us as we make our world a better place to live in. Amen.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng DepEd Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Good morning. Happy and safe Thursday to everyone joining our special learners with hearing impairment for today's ETUlay session. So before we formally start, let's have our shout out first. So I would like to thank our supportive principal, Sir Greg De Los Santos of Bagong Ilog Elementary School, to my master teacher, Ma'am Janet Jamer, for helping me since day one with my presentations. Thank you, ma'am. And to Ma'am Marife of De Castro Elementary School. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accommodating us, spectacular tutors. So next. So I am tutor Tessa, and I will be your tutor for today's ETUlay session for learners with hearing impairment intermediate level. So next. So here we are in quarter 3 of week 6, English 4, and our lesson is about using graphic organizer. So I would like to acknowledge the self-learning module of SDO Pasig in English 4 for the content of my lesson for today. So at the end of our tutorial, you will learn and understand the use of graphic or signed like this, graphic organizer. Next. So let's have our energizer so the viewers as well as the learners can join. So you are going to identify the word being signed and you are going to comment the letter of the correct answer. So let me finger spell first the choices that we are going to choose from. So A is organizer, B is process, C is event, and D is milkmaid, and E is pail. So this is the first word that you are going to guess. You are going to answer the letters only. Number 1 is, again, number 1 is it A, B, C, D, or E? Comment your answers. And the answer is letter E. It is pail. Next is number 2 is event. But sinabi? Again, number 2 is event. Again, number 2 is, nasabi ko na, sorry. Again, number 2 is, what do you think is the answer? So comment your answers. Is it A, B, C, D, E? Bonus. What is the answer from Mom Kathleen? It is letter E. Is it letter E? What I signed is, just guess the word. The answer is letter C from Mom Kathleen. Correct. And next is number 3. Again, number 3. You are going to guess the word. Comment your answers. Let me see what is the answer. Just guess the word. The answer is letter B. It is process. And next is number 4 is, or it can also be signed as, what is the answer? You are going to guess the word. The answer is correct from James. It is letter A. It is organizer. And number 5 is Again, what is the answer? Of course, it is letter. Comment your answers. It is letter D. It is letter D, milkmaid. So these are the words that we are going to meet along our lesson. So remember the sign because these are the important words in our today's lesson. So thank you for those who participated. So next, so let's have our review. What can you see or can you name what's in the picture? Comment your answers. It is, okay, the answer is, it is a fruit salad. So, but how do we prepare a fruit salad? So, do we know how to prepare it? So, next. So, we are going to have a review in our recent lesson. So, we are going to identify the signal word appropriate in each step that will help in preparing fruit salad. You are going to identify the signal word appropriate in each step that will help in preparing fruit salad. So, number 1 is blank, wash the fruits. Is it first or then? Comment your answers. It is, the answer is first. The answer is first. First, wash the fruits. And then number 2, blank, peel the fruits. Is it first or next? Again, in number 2, peel the fruits. Is it first or next? And the answer is, let us wait for the answers. From Mitzi, the answer is, in number 2 is next, correct. And number 3, you are going to blank slice the fruits into small cubes or pieces. Again, blank slice the fruits into small cubes or pieces. Is it then or next? Comment your answers. From Elijah, the answer is correct. Number 3 is then. Correct. And number 4 is blank mix the fruits together with milk or cream. Again, blank mix the fruits together with milk or cream. Is it lastly or then? Comment your answers. The answer is correct. From Rona, the answer is then. And number 5, blank share the salad with everyone. Again, share the salad with everyone. Is it next or lastly? Again, what is the answer? From Lilian, the answer is correct. It is lastly. So thank you so much. Very good for those who participated. So next. So let's have a quick overview about what is a graphic organizer or graphic organizer, or it can be signed as like this, organizer. But let us use graphic organizer. So these are charts or visuals used to represent what we think of. They can help us understand what we read. So, these are the samples of graphic organizers. Next, the first one is chain of events organizer. And next one is flower graphic organizer. And next one is flow chart. And next one is a story board. And next one is story train. So these organizers will be used along our lesson. So next is, let's have our activity 1. Let us try to use a chain of events graphic organizer. So let's read first the story entitled The Bundle of Sticks. So pay attention. The bundle of sticks. So an old man who was about to die called his sons to give some parting advice. He ordered his servants to bring a bundle of sticks, and he told his eldest son, break it. Next is, the son strained and strained, but with all his efforts, he was unable to break the bundle. The other sons also tried, but no one of them was successful. Next is, untie untie the sticks, said the father, and each of you take a stick. When they had done so, he called out to them, now break. And each stick was easily broken. Do you see what I mean? Said the father, or asked the father. Next, so we are going to retell the story by sequencing the events in the chain of events organizer. So you are going to write or just comment the letter of the event on the blank. Next is, so let me interpret first the choices of events that we are going to choose from in answering. So A is now break, and each stick was easily broken. And letter B is an old man was about to die, called his sons to give some parting advice. And letter C, the son strained and strained, but with all his efforts, he was unable to break the bundle. And letter D is untie the sticks, said the father, and each of you take a stick. So, what do you think is the answer in the first box? Just comment the letter of the correct answer. Is it B? Is it A, B, C, or D? Comment your answers. And while waiting for the answers, let me thank my teachers from Balara High School and Balara Elementary School in Quezon City for your support, for your overwhelming support, teachers. Thanks for inspiring me for who and what am I today. So thank you po, teachers. And the answer is letter from Erich. The answer in first box should be letter B, correct. And the next one is number 2, or in the second box, the answer is, what should be the answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? Comment your answers. The answer is letter C. And in the third box, what should be the answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? The answer is letter D. And in number 4, the answer is letter A. Okay, thank you for trying. And next one is, so here's our lesson. And what will you buy if you get some money? So before we begin our lesson, let us read first again a short story entitled The Milkmaid. So pay attention. Let us sign first the name Mutia. Signed like this, Mutia. And next one is the milkmaid. So let us proceed. Pay attention. So Mutia, the milkmaid, was going to the market, carrying a huge pail of milk on her head. She hummed a happy tune while walking. As she went along, she began thinking of what she would do with the money she would get from the milk. I'll buy some chickens from Mang Tomas, she said, and they will lay eggs each morning. Then I will sell the eggs to the mayor's wife. So, with the money that I will get from the sale of the eggs, I'm sure I can buy myself a cute dress and a hat. And when I go to the market, I would be amused. So next, as she spoke, she tossed her head back, and the pail fell down, and all the milk was spilled. She had to go home and tell her mother what happened. So, let's have our guided practice. Number 1, let us identify the main details of the story through flower graphic organizer. You are going to choose the letter that answers the question word. Again, let us identify the main details of the story through flower graphic organizer. You are going to choose the letter that answers the question word. So let's begin. So next, let me interpret first the choices that we are going to choose from. So, in answering, so what do you think? Oh, sorry, let me interpret first the choices. A, Mutia, the milkmaid. And letter B, one day. Letter C, along the street in the market. And letter D, Mutia was thinking about what she will buy after getting the money. And letter E is to make her look good and be admired by others. So number 1, what do you think is the answer in number 1 or question word who? Is it A, B, C, D, or E? Comment your answers. So while waiting, I've seen viewers from SDO Makati. Thank you, ma'am, for supporting ETUlay. So what is the answer? The answer is letter from Ma'am Rose, from Ma'am Rosario Gabriel, the answer is letter A. And the next one in number 2, which of the following answers the question word where? Is it A, B, C, D, or E? Comment your answers. And the answer is letter from James. The answer is letter C. Correct. And in number 3, which of the following answers the question word when or when? Again, which of the following answers the question word when or when? Is it A, B, C, D, or E? Comment your answers. The answer is, let's wait for the answers. So the answer is letter B. And the next one is number 4. Which of the following answers the question word why? Is it A, B, C, D, or E? Comment your answers. The answer is, what is the answer? The answer is letter E. And the next one in number 5, which of the following answers the question word what? Again, so which of the following answers the question word what? Is it A, B, C, D, or E? Comment your answers. And the answer is letter D. So thank you for those who tried and participated. So next, so following the story, The Milkmaid, we are going to use the storyboard and write in each box the events to show the story sequence. So next, so let us interpret first the sequence of events that is already in order. Again, let us interpret first the sequence of events that is already in order. So the title is The Milkmaid. Number 1, Mutya, the milkmaid, was going to the market, carrying a huge pail of pure milk on her head. Number 2, as she went along, she began thinking of what she would do with the money she would get from the milk. And number 3, with the money that I will get from the sale of the eggs, I'm sure I can buy a cute dress and a hat. Next is, number 4 is, as she spoke, she tossed her head back and the pail fell down and the milk was spilled. And number 5, she had to go home and tell her mother what happened. So next, let us now answer what number or which of the following sequence or sequence of events should be in the first box or in the beginning box. So what do you think should be in the first box or in the beginning box? The answer is it number 1 or number 2? The answer is, let's wait for the answers. From Joven, the answer is correct. Number 1. And in the second box, it should be, is it number 1 or number 2? It is number 2. And in the next one, it is number 3. And suddenly, which of the following numbers should be in the suddenly box? Is it number 1, 2, 3, or 4? Of course, it is number 4. And next is, in the end, is number 5. So thank you for participating. Next activity is, okay, let us remember from our lesson, do not count your chickens before they are hatched. So what does it mean? Do not count on something or do not expect too much that has yet to happen. It may give us false hope. So next. So here's our learning task 2. So you are going to arrange the events to form a story. You are going to write each event in the flow chart. So let us read first the events in the story. Number 1, Pepito saw an old woman who was having a hard time crossing the street. Again, Pepito saw an old woman who was having a hard time crossing the street. And number 2, he approached the old woman and offered help. And the latter gladly accepted the offer. Next is number 3. When the two reached the other side of the street, the old woman gave Pepito a big seed. It was her way of thanking him. And number 4, when Pepito got home, he planted the big seed. The next morning, he found a money tree in the place where he had to put the seed. So next, so we will organize the numbers in the flow chart. So what do you think should be in the first box? Is it number 1, 2, 3, or 4? Comment your answers. So the answer is, in the first box, it should be number, from easily, it should be number 1, correct. And next is, and then, what number should be in the second box? It should be number 2, correct. And the next one is, then, what should be in this box? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? It is number 3. And finally, the last one should be number 4. Next. So, for our last activity, we are going to read the selection carefully. Then, number the sentences from 1 to 5 to show correct sequence of events. You are going to write the numbers inside the story train. So let us start. Next. So pay attention. People made the first all glass pieces about 3,500 500 years ago. So several solid materials are used to make the glass. The two main materials are sand and soda. Again, people made the first all glass pieces about 3,500 years ago. Several solid materials are used to make the glass. The two main materials are sand and soda. So these solids are ground up into very small pieces. Then they are heated over hot fires. The sand and soda melt together. They form a liquid. The liquid is then poured into a shape. When the liquid cools, it becomes glass. Next, so let me read the sequence of events first, then we will answer. So number 3, sand and soda melt together. Number 5, the liquid cools and become glass. Number 1, sand and soda are ground up into very small pieces. And number 2 is sand and soda are heated over very hot fire. And number 4, the liquid is poured into a shape. So, which of the following number should be in the first box of the train? Is it 3? Is it 5? Is it 1? Is it 2? Or is it 4? The answer is number 1. And the next one should be, is it 3, 5, 1, 2, or 4? It is number, from Juris, it is number 2. And the next one is, and in the third box, it should be number 3. And in the next box, it is number 4. And the last one, of course, it should be number 5. Very easy, right? So thank you for those who answered quickly. So next, let's have our wrap up about our lesson. I have learned, or we have learned, that graphic organizers are charts or visuals used to represent what we think of. In sequencing events, we use organizer like chain of events, flower graphic organizer, storyboard, flow chart, and story train. So, thank you for those who stayed with us. I hope you learned something and enjoyed our tutorial session. So up next, tutor is Tutor Dem. Let us watch him on May 11, 9 a.m. to 9:40 a.m. Thank you, everyone. So keep safe and God bless us all. Thank you po. Bye!
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa mathematics. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!